Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for Monday, April 26, 2021. Finally got some sunshine today. Hopefully improve the rest of the week. Let's start our meeting off this evening with our Pledge of Allegiance. Do people out there at home can join or wait for us? We'll be in a minute. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, next item on our agenda is agenda review. Do we have any revisions this evening or additions?
Need a executive session for personnel.
Okay, executive session for personnel. Anything else? Okay, next item, public comment. Anybody like to say anything?
Okay.
If I may,
Nicole first.
Who? Nicole?
Nicole.
Looks like,
hi there, gentlemen. Nicole Draper here, Program Director at Swanton Recreation, Select Board Member for those of you that don't know me. I'm coming here today to talk to you folks about the possibility of hosting a farmer's market on the Village Green. I wasn't sure if that had made it to your agenda or not, but it's something that I'd like to discuss possibly with you folks.
okay.
Rock on.
Shall we make a motion now?
Nicole, at this point, or you
Do
want
it
to
right
discuss
now.
it now?
If now is the proper time to discuss it, I would love to discuss it more with you.
Okay, Susie, did you want to say something?
I'm here to talk about the same thing as Nicole. We're working on the farmer's market together.
Okay, well, I guess I'll let Nicole start, and if you've got anything to add, just go ahead with it. We did bring it up at our meeting last week and discussed it, but not last week, last meeting. And so Nicole, if you want to start out, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. My apologies for not being able to be in attendance last meeting. I had a conflict with some other things. We're coming here today to ask permission to hold a farmer's market on the Village Green during the dates that Swanton will be hosting a food truck event, or SEP will be hosting a food truck event. We're looking at this as an opportunity to not only enrich the event that's happening on those Sundays, but just to offer more things to people in our community. Healthy Roots, which is a local food initiative here in Franklin County, did a feasibility study for the library a few years back, and once the farmers market had moved to the library, and they did a feasibility study on whether a farmers market would be an acceptable or not acceptable, but would fare well in our area. And they came up that since there were some more other established markets, that they weren't quite sure on its own that a farmers market would be the best idea for Swanton. So we were hoping to add it to the event that's already happening, to give our local producers another opportunity to sell their wares. And like I said before, enrich Swanton with or the event happening on that day with the market. So really, we're asking for permission to host it. It would be the third Sunday of the month in between May and September. And we are asking our vendors with permission from you folks to have just no more than a 10 by 10 site, and to produce 80% of what they're selling that day. I do have some verbiage if you are interested in looking into this further that I can send to you gentlemen for review.
For 20 once a month.
Adam, did you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you, Nicole. I appreciate the information. One question I have is the Healthy Roots made the comment that Swanton was not a good location to have a farmer's market on a regular basis.
Correct.
And just, I'm curious as to why they think that. I mean, what's wrong with Swanton?
Nothing particularly wrong with Swanton, but there is, in our proximity, there's two very well-established markets already. And for our producers to be at all three locations, St. Albans being the top producing market in our area, and then the islands also being a top producing market, they thought that to have three on a regular weekly basis, that it would put too much strain on our local farmers and producers. That's why our idea to do a once a month allows them to still market their things in Swanton, but doesn't really give them overall strain on, because what they do is a very, tasking job, but it doesn't give them the overall strain. And it also lets them kind of put their foot in the door. So if this year, if 5 dates work, then maybe it happens bi-weekly next season. This is kind of like giving them a taste of Swanton almost.
And are you considering limiting the number of vendors?
That wouldn't be hard.
I mean, if we have 100 people, then yes, obviously we have to keep it within COVID guidelines. Occupancy in the park. I would really like to work with approval. I'd really like to work more hands in hand with those that are working on the event that's already happening that day to make sure that, we have enough space for everybody. If it was something that grew, I mean, there's possibilities to hosting it in a different location, although the Village Green is the most ideal location in my mind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, as just to keep everybody else up to speed, I know I've had some phone conversations with Nicole and, expressed my my thoughts about, having it only 5 times. I understand where she's coming from. I do understand it's a big undertaking to try and just start off right off the bat. With that said, I still would like to see more than just 5. I think 5 is not enough for Swanton, and I understand. I think there are other vendors out there that don't go to St. Albans or the islands that might benefit from an extra day in Swanton during the course of the summer. So I'll throw that out there.
If I may for a moment, gentlemen, I have put out feelers to artisans and vendors, and I seem to be getting a good response, but that's only for the 5 days that we have so far. I can put out additional feelers to see if they'd be interested in a more bi-weekly basis, but I didn't want to go too far into this without knowing for sure what location I would be able to use for the market.
So either Nicole and Sue, you're talking about putting it in the park, not on the corner by the library, right?
Yes, sir.
Which I think would be a better place. If you're gonna run a farmer's market, I think the park would be better. So. but,
I completely agree, sir.
Yeah. So,
Why did it get moved from the park to the library back a few years back? Do we know?
Yes.
you know,
Because the gentleman that was running it at the time felt he would get better traffic by being in front of the library. Instead of, it would be an opportunity for almost like drive-by shopping,
Yeah.
which there was a lot of that as well.
We don't want that.
No, we don't want that.
no,
So we don't want to drive by anything, honestly.
they got a lot of congestion there on the corner, and the
Yeah.
vendors are real close together, and it looked too busy. That's from my perspective. I think the park would be a lot better place.
How many vendors do you currently have signed up
I believe I've received correspondence from 7 vendors that are very interested in being participants, that have filled out kind of like our contract or form saying that they're interested. Um, and I haven't checked the mail today, so there could be more.
And the $64 elephant in the room is, what about insurance?
So I've spoken to some other hosts of farmers markets. The way that they do it or have been doing it is they make their vendor carry their own policy and sign a waiver limiting, any liability to the town, the village, as the recreation department, if I would be helping sponsor this, us, the chamber, if the chamber would like to be involved. And we have something drafted that I would more than happy to share with you folks.
Chris, do you want to say
Yeah,
something?
this is Chris. I just had a couple of thoughts. I think farmer's market's a great idea. I just wondered from a marketing standpoint, would any of the marketeers be willing to do an afternoon or an evening during the week? If so, they wouldn't be in competition with St. Albans or other spots. People might want fresh vegetables in the middle of the week sometime, I mean, just a thought, and maybe there's a reason not to do it, but
I would definitely love to explore that option more.
make us stand out, it'll be a little bit different,
We could. The way I also think about it, though, is to hold something in the evening. Once a market comes to town, and people start to become familiarized with it, later down the line is when we can adjust the time and date to it. People will build up their following, people will be like, oh, yeah, that's something that they look forward to doing every week. And I think from there, we'd be able to make, a modification to an evening market.
that's great. It's just a suggestion, as a thought to set us apart from the other markets, if competition is an issue.
No market is having a Sunday market.
I wanted to know that. That's good. I do have another question or an observation. I don't have a problem if you have it every Sunday. Does anybody else feel that way?
No, as often as the vendors want to come.
So, correct me
Many
if I'm
Sundays
wrong.
as you want.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're starting this, you're starting with kid gloves here, and you're hoping this food truck will draw some of it in because you're having this farmer's market at the same time. That's a help to draw in people for the farmer's market, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And to really make our downtown look more vibrant during that period of time.
Yeah.
I think overall, I also intend to be there as a program director for the rec department, providing just an overview of what we offer for recreation. And I just think the more people that can get out in the village green during those times to show everybody how wonderful our community is going to really help us post about how wonderful our community is.
Yeah.
Nicole, what are the hours you're anticipating?
Susie and I have talked about it. Right now, we're looking from 9 o'clock in the morning until right up until the food truck event. Those could be adjusted to have it, start a little later in the afternoon and carry over more into the hours that the food truck are going to be there. We didn't really want to commit to hours until we knew that we had the location.
I was just talking to Joe, we could probably fit, over 20, maybe 25 easily. If you get more than 25, let us know.
Okay.
But, after July, I mean, the governor's saying opening things up, right?
Yeah.
So easily 25.
Well, it is somewhat progressive even before July. Is more open space.
If you get that much, let us
Yeah.
know.
Okay, so for setting up the market and for COVID, restrictions currently? Is there somebody who would like to meet with me to walk through where I can set these tents up or have them set up in the green?
As long as they're.
I didn't understand.
I didn't understand that either.
I didn't
So
understand the
the-
question. I'm
The
sorry.
COVID guidelines for a farmer's market are posted on the health department's website that will guide you through how the vendors should set their sites up. As long as you've got,
Okay.
as long as you get your 6-foot social distancing, you're good. It's more about having them spaced out so that you don't have a crowd around two vendors side by side.
Susie, you and I can do that.
Yeah, it'll be fairly simple. If you
I
need-
got that. I just wasn't sure if they wanted to be involved a little more in this process, as that I had heard Adam was going to help us out. So,
I think ACCD, Agency on Commerce and Community Development, has the website too for farmers markets. So there may be 2 areas to check. But yeah, more you can get in there safely, have at it.
Yeah, right.
So
So
we have your permission?
I
Sure
I
sounds
believe
like
so. We
Yeah,
can,
make a motion.
Yes, ma'am.
we can make a motion and make it really legal here in a minute. If you're- So, so we're gonna start with like the 5 days, is it? Or over the summer,
5 Sundays to begin.
5 Sundays, and if you,
5 Saturdays.
I'm gonna stick my neck out here, but I'm gonna say if it's really makes a run, if you wanna go a little bit longer, or like every Sunday, like Gene said, just let us know, but I'll entertain a motion to approve the farmer's market in the park for the dates that you're set so far.
So moved.
I'll second it.
So we have a motion and a second to approve your farmer's market for the dates that you set up. Hopefully we can increase it, but any more discussion?
I would just add that you consider the church, both churches, when coming up with your hours.
Okay,
Absolutely. Thank you.
okay. No further discussion. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Well, no opposition, so go for it, girls.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
thank you,
you.
sir.
Good luck.
Okay.
So. Okay, any more public comment?
Yeah, I just need to know who's Don that's on.
Who?
There's a Don that is on.
The upper right hand corner there. right
Need to
there.
know who you are for the record.
Don Collins?
Not sure.
Sir, could you identify yourself?
Sounds very.
Probably in a different room. So, there's Nicole, so.
So you unmuted and then you muted yourself.
So I'll put out a request, the person in the audience that we have labeled Dawn, can you identify yourself? Or are you MIA? Well, we have a Dawn. in
Yes,
the-
my name
Yes,
Yeah. Don Bourgeois.
Don Bouzlet? Okay,
Bourgeois.
Who's what?
okay, okay, sorry, thank you. So, okay, next item on our agenda, approve and accept the minutes from our Monday, April 12th, 2021 meeting. Have all those in your packet.
I so move.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve and accept the minutes from our Monday, April 12th, 2021 meeting. Any discussion, corrections?
Just no changes as far as the FERC relicensing as of today. Same status quo.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
A lot of scuttlebutt going on about the water quality certificate now. They're going through their modifications. I think we talked about that last
Yep.
meeting. So VEPS had put in their comments in the draft notice, so.
Thank you.
Okay, that being said, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those, no opposition, the motion's carried. Approve and accept the minutes. Item number 6, approve and accept the village warrants through Thursday, April 27th, 2021. What's your pleasure on the warrants?
I move that we approve the warrants as read.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve and accept the village warrants through Thursday, April 22nd. Any questions, discussion?
That you asked one about Taylor Rental. I think that's
Franklin
either-
Rental.
Franklin Rental. That's either the concrete saw or the compact.
Okay.
One of the two.
Probably the compactor. Yeah. So, okay, no further questions. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 No opposition, motion's carried. Item number 7 on our agenda this evening is report from Chief Joey Stell from the Swanton Village Police Department. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, thank you. So quick rundown of the police department. During the month of March, we responded to 144 calls for service throughout the month. During that, excuse me, during that same timeframe, we had 18 municipal traffic stops resulting in warnings, and we had another 2 traffic stops excuse me, that resulted in traffic tickets. So I'll repeat that because my voice was all cracked up. We had 18 traffic stops that resulted in warnings and 2 traffic stops that resulted in tickets. The warnings were on, along with the traffic tickets, were First Street, Greenwich, Grand Avenue, Canada Street, Spring Street, and the traffic tickets were in those same kind of areas. There's a few other streets in there too, but the bulk of the stops were Canada, Grand, Spring, and First, the biggest speeding thoroughfares that we have. And they weren't all for speeding. That's the quick rundown of what we had.
Have you checked the speed indicator on Grand Avenue, how they're running down Grand Avenue, you know?
We have not pulled, we haven't pulled data from that currently. The data logger for that device is not functioning currently, will be functioning shortly. It's a little, basically it looks like a thumb drive that records, and we've had them, they go faulty pretty easily. So we have a couple of new data recorders coming in that'll plug into those. They're relatively cheap.
Yeah.
Those should be in soon.
Okay,
We'll be redeploying our speed cart and our other speed monitoring devices around both the village and the town so that we can get a better idea of what our current traffic patterns are.
Yeah.
As we know that things are going to slightly start changing as schools, colleges start letting out, kids start coming home for the summer, and the fact that there's constant rumors about when the border is going to open up. And we know that's going to really change our traffic patterns more toward what they were prior to COVID.
Yeah.
But we need to figure out what's the best time to patrol different areas for that aggressive behavior. So
okay.
those studies will be starting up and going on throughout the warm weather into the fall.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Have you had any issues or have had any concerns brought to you about ATV issues?
We have constant issues with ATVs, rail trail, some of our roads here in the village, a lot of the roads in the town. Those are a constant problem. And they're problematic for us in the fact that it's hard for us to identify who the culprits are. We have a policy within our police department that was recommended by Vermont Leagues and Cities and Towns not to engage in pursuit with ATVs because they tend to end badly. And most of the people that end badly for is the child that's riding it. And that's the problem, is it's usually children, under the age of 18.
Yeah.
So we choose not to, for the safety of the public and not to pursue them. We work purely on investigation and tips to try to corral the riders, educate them, and or ticket them if necessary.
And just along the lines, I think there's a town or two that's looking to allow ATVs on their roads. I want to say Bakersfield or Montgomery, but I'm not quite sure. I talked to, or was it Fairfax?
Irisburg allows it.
Huh?
Irisburg allows.
What are your
UTVs.
thoughts on that? I mean, is that,
There's several towns that allow the use of ATVs and UTVs on their secondary roads. State law prohibits the use of them on class 1 roads, being like Vermont 78 and US Route 7. But the town can designate them on any of their other class 2 roads or 3 or 4 roads. It becomes that double-edged sword. It could be beneficial and it could be more problematic. And where I get with more problematic is now you have more sound noise, you have some loud ATVs now that are legal to be driving around your secondary roads and crossing your class 1 roads. Do we increase the problem we have and cause more annoyance to our residents? Or do we stop the problem we have because now it becomes more regulated and the kids follow a better direction?
I agree. I agree.
The ditches, chewing up the ditches, causing more runoff and erosion.
Yep.
I'd argue they're out there anyway, they're just not on the roads.
The person I was talking to had asked, that question as well. And the other question was, could you put some sort of fee in place if they were going to ride our roads? If the village is going to allow it, maybe we make some money off it. So I appreciate the information. It's kind of
I can collect
what I said to the person.
I can put out an email to our Chiefs Association for those towns that do allow it to see what the pros and cons have been for those towns.
Yeah, I'd rather not see them, especially going up Route 7 north.
Yeah.
But class 1 road.
We can't approve it for that street.
Right. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Joey, I just wanted to, several people have approached me in the last couple of weeks, and I want to say everybody is supportive of the police department. One thing they do like, people have commented on, they don't seem to see the police cars around as much as they think they used to. It's true or not, but I think it's most important that people are very supportive of you in the department. I haven't had one negative comment.
Good. You're all set, Jim?
Okay.
Okay, thanks, Joey. Or Chief, I guess I should say Chief. Item number 8 on our agenda this evening, any other necessary business? Who would like to start? Adam's got a big smile on his face, so we'll let him go first.
Any update from the state as far as funds for the towns and villages yet?
Heard nothing.
Okay. I've mentioned the car show is happening July 31st this year from 9 to 3. We're going to go full bore with our 250. We're going to hope we get it. We're not sure that we're going to this year, but our hope is that we can fill that park and have a great event for this community that's so much needed.
I think you will.
And also I'm on the committee for the Memorial Day Parade. So we're looking at doing Monday, May 31st. Time is to be announced. I've got a meeting this week on it. And And we'll be reaching out to Swanton Rec and a few other organizations to see if they would be able to participate in the parade as well. I don't have any information as far as the high school band goes, but if it doesn't, if that part doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So, but, you know, so we're gonna try it. Try it, see what we get and go.
Adam, related, talking about car show, I did receive an email from the Snake Mountain Cruisers down in Bristol.
Yep.
They've canceled their show.
Okay,
So I took the liberty to invite them to ours because
absolutely.
we were gonna go ahead with it so far.
Yep.
But the Bristol show, the better late than never show has been.
Yep. And I believe there's one show the week before ours, one show the week after, and one show 2 weeks after ours. So they are coming back.
Good, good.
Yep.
Okay, is that it?
And yes, that's all I've got. And if anybody's interested in helping with the Memorial Day Parade, look me up.
Eugene? Everything?
Do you want to discuss the airport situation at all?
Yep.
You want to take it?
Just, okay. So the Messenger did an article about the airport project. And after going through and reading it, I was concerned that the article made the interpretation, as far as I was concerned, that I had already pre-committed the trustees for financial support. And that wasn't the intent of my conversation. The intent of my conversation was that if they had a negative vote, that we would sit with them because we were supportive of this project. It was a needed project. And we would sit with the select board of Highgate and find some resolution to see if we couldn't help make the project come to reality. So I did talk to the Highgate Heidi Galante, and she reached out to all the select board members, and they didn't see it as a negative article. They were fine with the words. I had a few other residents from Highgate call me and said that they knew me, they knew that wasn't the intent of that article. It wasn't, bad written article. So they were supportive of us trying to make this project happen with them.
Good. I know that we certainly in support of this for the county and the whole area, actually, because it's a prime location for development, especially industrial. And we'll provide water and sewer to them. They'll pay for the installation and that sort of thing, and we won't charge them any more than we charge any other customer. Doing it for the benefit of the community. So I read the article, and in general, I think it was informative. And certainly if their vote is negative in Highgate, that doesn't mean that the airport is gone away. It means that maybe there's another way to look at it. And I think that's what you were trying to tell the messenger reporter.
Yeah.
So we wanted to make that very clear. Thank you for
Thank you, Gene.
your input too.
And luckily, the end result of the whole media coverage was positive. And that's what we wanted it to be. But I guess as we move along, we have to be more careful on how we go out to the media. And because they called me and left a message, and I got back to them. And of course, in their original article, they said I was unavailable for comment. Well, I wasn't. A half an hour later, I was available, but they didn't return my call. But what Reggie was trying to get across was positive for, like you say, the Highgate community and the entire county. And it's not very often that the communities and the federal government and the state government and the state agencies get together with a bonus for the community. And this is a very rare example. And I feel we should all move forward and help each other to the best of our ability. So,
Agreed.
okay. enough said, I guess. Chris?
Just a quick one. I'm in favor of moving up to the airport. We've been talking about that for years. The state's been talking about making it longer for years. In the article, they said something about a 7,000 foot runway. That's over a mile and a quarter long. That's a jet runway, but I don't think it's that long.
Oh, the runway?
Yeah, they talked
Well,
about a
they-
7,000-foot long runway.
They
They have
said that
space for
They
it.
have the space for it.
Right.
They can't.
Yeah,
they'd have to-
that would accommodate jets.
Yeah, they don't, they want to keep it an open gate airport, so that would mean they have to limit their length of the airport. Now, off the top of my head, I don't remember what that length was, that they have to keep it under to make it an open gate, but
I think it's under 4,500 feet, if I remember right. I thought they were gonna be like 44,001 feet or something crazy like that,
4,400.
or 40, yeah, yeah.
From what I understand, they're gonna increase the length of the runway, the existing runway by 900 feet. Not- Could be correct, it could not, but it's not 7,000. So,
Well, none of this is carved in stone yet. I know that the FAA is involved,
Right.
state agencies are involved, P.E.G is involved,
Right.
and the
But
county.
this movement's been in place for 15 years.
Sure.
And I
I
think
just
Highgate's
hope
gonna
they
be
this time they
surprised. They're
actually
gonna,
do it.
I think the public in Highgate is gonna come out strongly in favor of this.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
I really truly believe that from the people that I've talked to.
Yeah, I did have a question about, the stimulus funds that are, would this sort of project benefit from them?
yeah, it depends
It
on
seemed to
where
me
the
it
money's
made-
actually get allocated to. So,
Correct.
Seemed like a good candidate.
It seems
Yeah.
like it to me as well. That could be that other source if we have to get into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other quick comment was, I see the guys have been brushing the streets and it looks really nice. The guys do a really good job.
thanks.
Thank you.
So,
Reg?
yeah, I just got a couple of other things. So the bridge, I applied for a structures grant, so we can repair the expansion joints. I mean, it may not reach it all, but it's, I applied for 175,000. There's a 10% match, so we're watching Dean's watching his highway money to make sure we cover that difference. But I submitted it a couple weeks or last week, just wait to see if I get approved or not. The front porch forum, we use it quite a bit for our electric crew. Vepsa puts ads in there for us, and we use it occasionally for the village. And they're sending out, this is their annual fundraiser. I was wondering if you folks wanted to donate to Front Porch Forum at all, as
Yes.
What have we done in the past?
we haven't in the past. It's been one of those things I just didn't. When I asked Lynn, she said, well, as long as the trustees approved it, we could donate something to them. But,
What's an appropriate amount?
municipality. $100, maybe, I don't know.
I never thought about it before. I never thought about it.
Would that come out of the electric fund?
Probably the general, or she would divide it up into all the departments, whatever we use it on. So if I use it on electric, we use it on highway, we use it on water, sewer, that kind of stuff. And come out
How
of
about,
each.
how about a couple $100?
Okay.
I would make a motion to do that.
And so with the Memorial Day parade coming up, we saw the Doughboy, Sean Chevalier did some work on the Doughboy. He still has to go back in. He noticed some cracking. He called me up, but then I received multiple other calls. So he's aware of it. He is going to go back and take a look at it, just on the base. Everything else looked really good. Diane and I were looking through the ordinances on parks. And it always says flat iron, but occasionally you'll see where it's referenced Veterans Memorial Park. I'm wondering if we actually made an ordinance change and actually formally named it Veterans Memorial Park.
I would be in favor of that.
Absolutely.
The shape, its purpose.
who are whereases and wherewithals. And
Yeah, whereas, so Diane was starting to look into the verbiage that's associated with trying to do something like that, but if you guys are in favor of that, we can talk to the veterans and see maybe on Memorial Day, we rededicate it.
I think it's a great idea.
Real good idea.
So before you go any further, Rich, I guess we should have two motions here. One for Chris to make appropriate $200 donation to the Front Porch Forum Association.
I'll second that motion.
I have a second to that. Motion been made and seconded to donate $200 to this Front Porch Forum Association. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, okay, the motion is carried. And now make a motion to rename, if it hasn't been already, Flatiron Park to the Veterans Memorial Park.
So move.
A second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded to rename, if not already, Flatiron Park to be named the Veterans Memorial Park. No discussion, all those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion is carried. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah.
Doing
You all- you got more? Or
No, that's all I got.
That's all I
tonight.
So everybody is finished. Just a side note, the beautification task force has been out and about in the last week or so when the weather changed, and they're making plans to put some flowers in the park like usual, but trying to step it up a little. And we're changing the colors of the flower boxes on the bridge and adding one that was missing. So Joy, if you got any reports from this weekend, the village president wasn't stealing the flower boxes off the bridge. He was taking them to his shop to rejuvenate them. So I'm warning everybody to keep their eye on the bridge, so when they come back, they'll look a little different. And the beautification committee is already working on flowers for the flower boxes.
You know if they'll do the swan planter in front of the Ace Hardware? You know if they'll add that one in?
I did
It
get
seems to
asked-
me they did last year.
Yeah, I think she had this, put it out by the bridge, but wherever you
Right.
think- wherever you think you want us to,
It's already, I brought it out. The chamber president brought it out
also it's
Saturday
already
or
up-
Friday.
already out in front of the chamber.
I saw it.
Yeah,
Never mind.
yeah,
I think it looks good there.
yeah. Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, that being said, I'd like to add to the executive session, real estate, discussion on real estate along with personnel. So if somebody wants to make a motion. we
I'll
want to-
move that we go into executive session at 7:47 to discuss personnel and real estate.
Okay,
I'll second it.
motion been made and seconded to go into real estate. Yeah, to go into executive session to discuss personnel and real estate. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're in executive session. Thank you. To adjourn, we didn't have any decisions made in our executive session, just discussion. Have a motion to adjourn this meeting of the Swanton Village Board of Trustees for April 26, 2021. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone, and good evening.